How's it going, everybody? I'm Brandon, and this is Matt.
Good to
We
see
are
you.
brothers, if you didn't know. This is the podcast Breakthrough Stories, where we talk about people's lives changes, uh, breakthrough moments, obviously, and personal growth. Today, we're going to be talking about goals, specifically dreams, right? How do they say it, Matt? If it's not on paper, what's that saying?
I don't know.
So more or less, it's not. Oh, it's a dream until it's on paper, and now it's a
Oh,
goal,
yeah, now you have a
right?
plan. Yeah.
So I think we all start with a light bulb moment, right? I think that's where it all starts. Where either the pain is too great that the fear of change is, not as scary as it was before, and we go, I'm going to make a change, right? So those two things kind of come together, and then we go, how? What's it look like? So whether we have the path or not, we know we're going to change, and so then we start dreaming, right? It's not on paper yet. I don't have it all written out. And I'm thinking, okay, well, if I can't fail, it looks like this. I mean, it could be, a goal of mine is to have a beach house, like a VRBO, whether it be in like a Costa Rica or San Diego or something like that. Everyone's got some kind of goals like that. So,
But you have to give your dream legs with that plan.
right. So, I guess on that note, when I think we've all had the moment, and you can back me up on this if it's true, because it seems to be true for most people I know. You get excited, you start riding that wave, and you go, I'm going to make this change.
Yeah.
My life is getting better already
There's a
just because
desire.
you decided it's going to change. You start riding this high. It's euphoria. You're like, I'm finally getting out of this rut, right? And then you go to work, you go to church, you go to the park, go to get groceries, whatever it is, and you see a friend,
You're excited about your idea.
friend, and you tell them, man, it's finally happening. I'm making this change. I'm going to do this thing, and it's going to look like this. And what do they say?
You're crazy.
You're crazy.
That's the dumbest
Or
thing I've ever heard.
yeah,
That'll never happen.
or they blankly stare and go, "Well, that sounds great."
Yeah.
Or something where you obviously feel they don't believe you.
Your positivity has brought them to a place where they're now uncomfortable, and they got to bring you back down to where they are.
So if you're new to your journey, if you're new to your breakthrough, this can be quite a downer. You just had this moment where boom, everything seems possible. You're watching these videos, whether it's us or somebody else, where you're coalescing with these people and going, oh, things can happen. I do believe, it's about belief. And then you find out the people you thought you were in your corner who would be cheering for you. It turns out, to be honest, they're just scared.
Yeah, I mean, but let's face the reality of the world that we live in right now is that normal sucks. And I'm not talking about any one person in particular here, but
Is that even a term anymore? Normal?
I don't know,
I
but
don't-
to be normal, let's put a very loose definition on that. Normal means you're paycheck to paycheck, you're stressed all the time, you hate your job, you may hate your spouse.
working for the
That's right. You
weekend.
definitely hate yourself. It's, oh my God, it's Monday and I can't wait till Friday. And then now you're living somebody else's dream instead of your own. And so you've never had a dream possibly, or you did, and you were surrounded by enough people who were normal to tell you, no, 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 you can't go up there. You got to stay back down here with us.
Yeah. And again, a belief. So we're really talking about belief. And then for those of us who, depending on where you're at in your journey, have not built enough self-confidence and surrounded yourself with people that do believe that you can accomplish whatever it is you want. I mean, I find myself, won't name names here, but when some people tell me their goals, even though I am extremely open-minded, some people have these goals that are even blow mine away. And I have to step back and go, well, I really hope that happens for you. But even I have struggled believing it, you know? So even I can be that guy sometimes. So we have to be self-aware, but I think a big thing that did help me, probably 7 or 8 years ago when I really started down the road of my journey was I heard it from Tony Robbins. Like we talked about this in the last
Tony
episode.
Robbins.
Heard it from Tony Robbins, who heard it from
Jim Rohn.
the rule of 5, the 5 closest people to you. You are the equivalent of the 5 people that you hang around the most. This
I
could
agree.
be your parents. This could be your best friend. It could
Spouse.
be someone at church, your spouse, your kids. I mean, it could be just who do you spend the most time with? Um, More or less, you're a culmination. You usually make the same amount of money. You believe the same beliefs and the same God. You go eat at the same places on the weekend, and this is just acceptable
And it's
life.
all very comfortable.
And we like to pat each other on the back and go, "We're all doing good, right?"
Yeah. Or it all sucks together.
Yeah, or we all complain about the same job. We might even all work at the same place or a very similar place. So
Yeah.
I think, and this is, I mean, kind of why we started this breakthrough stories is because we watched generations of our family and other family do what they had to do from the time of the Depression, working in factories, having the mindset of, first of all, it's survival, right? You got to put food on the table to feed your family. Well, when you don't have to do that anymore, the options are unlimited.
Well, and we pigeonhole ourselves so much with our limited mindset that it's a blueprint that was installed basically into our software through the way we were raised, through the environment we were raised, the things that our parents and our grandparents said, the things that we witnessed, the things that we surround ourselves to make ourselves comfortable and not push us out of that comfort zone to see that there is always more if we choose to open our eyes. And for me personally, it was a moment where I had a why, a why that was so big and so powerful to me. It pushed me beyond my comfort zone of I'm gonna sit here and scrape by till I die and never think about inflation or changes in the life in my lifestyle and my health or anything else. But I was put in a position with my health that was so big that my why was simply to be around for my wife and my children to see them grow.
Sometimes it is that, I mean,
Mhm.
it's different for everybody, but I mean, sometimes you're forced to change, or you don't have to.
I didn't have to.
You don't have to. A lot of times it is a very scary thing. I think that's where people stay below the glass ceiling. I think all of us kind of know it's out there, and we just say, "Yeah, but it's so far."
We like to say things like, "It must be nice,"
Yeah, it must
thinking
be
it's
nice.
unachievable to
Yeah,
anybody but
how
but ourselves.
lucky, how lucky. That term. Look, Tony Robbins again, not to keep shouting that out, but taught me
Inspiration meets opportunity.
he didn't throw away luck because luck is out there and it's just waves of opportunity coming your way. But are you ready when they come?
Or do you
And
take them even if you're not ready?
right,
That's
exactly.
the
Or
tough one for me.
do you, right. So I think we all know they're out there, but to put yourself in the position to be able to jump on it when it comes is never easy.
I'm
And
sitting in this chair right now because I started saying yes to things as they came up opportunity wise about 2 years ago. You pushed me towards some of that with like, hey, you're doing a lot of cool things here, but you're closed yourself off to all this. And my life has completely changed from a few years ago, just from that simple idea that you can say yes to things outside of your comfort zone. And they're usually 99% of the time much less terrifying than they sound in your mind. The fear is usually in your mind, and you just once you arrive, you're like, "Oh, that wasn't near as bad as I thought it was gonna be." But it does take stepping out of your comfort zone and getting into a new position and saying, "Okay, why am I here? Is my why big enough?" With CT Fletcher said, "If your why is not big enough to make you cry, that's not your why." A lot of people have said that. I'm going to credit it to CT Fletcher because I found that when I moved off from my days in the gym when I was in there as much as possible because it was the healthiest way for me to deal with my stress. I had gone from listening to music to get me amped up for the gym to essentially self-help of some type. And I like to combine those two in a self-help plus this massive positivity. And if you've ever heard CT Fletcher speak, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, check him out. Maybe we can attach something to the show notes. CT Fletcher's a
sure.
very motivational guy. And I'll get into his story later, but it really got me thinking, what is my why? Is it big enough? Is it because I want to get through to Friday, or is it because I really think there's something more to my life than getting by?
That's good. I like, and I'm sure it's the exact same thing, just worded differently. If people don't tell you that you're crazy when you tell them your why, that's also a sign, that your why is not big enough, which we should do 5 ways to know that your why is not big enough.
Oh, this is good. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what we should. Let's go. We're starting over.
Yeah.
No, something you mentioned that I wanted to touch on again before we moved on is, and I'm sure he didn't make this up, but Will Smith, I just saw a few videos with him saying this because this is one of the incantations he more or less gives himself is everything you want is on the other side of fear.
Yeah.
So that just tells you right there that everything that's worth having kind of hurts to get. It in one way or another, it's scary.
And most of that fear is an illusion that we've created ourselves.
Very good point. But yes, that's it's if it doesn't give you butterflies, make you nauseous, want to puke or run away, it might not be worth it, you
That means
know?
if it's so easy to attain, you're definitely not shooting high enough. Definitely not
Yeah.
shooting high enough.
And let's not throw away, somebody wants to start. And this is, again, we don't want to lose incremental steps as everything, but definitely shoot for the moon. Again, the whole you may land among the stars, that's great. But if you're not shooting for the moon, you'll never get anywhere.
Yeah,
So you,
I like to tell people that when they come to me and they're excited about their goals and their aspirations, and they say, and I want to be making this is specific to what you're be making, but it's all very specific to the individual. And they'll say something like, in the next 5 years, I want to make X. And let's just say for the conversation, X is $150,000 a year annual income. And I'll say, that's fantastic. That's great. Tell me why. Try to get the background on their story, why they came up with that number. And then I'll usually throw this in at some point. I'll say, whatever number you think that it is, you're going to be comfortable at, because that's what they're telling me is what they're going to be comfortable at. Triple that number. And then the time frame that it's going to take you, we always hear this in business, it's going to take you 5 times longer and you're going to make half as much. Triple the number that you want to make. Give yourself a time frame that's half that. Because if you give yourself a time frame of 5 years, at 5 years, you'll look back and go, what have I been doing?
yeah,
I should have done
yeah,
this in a year and a half or 2 years. And when you reach that mark financially, you'll go, wow, I'm comfortable now, but I'm actually not able to do the things that I really wanted to do. I made my goal so achievable that it was difficult, but not the dream I wanted in my life. I did not dream big enough. And that was very difficult for me to come to grips with. I still fight this. I still look at a number on a page from a few years ago that was my goal and go, how did I dream so small? And at the time, it seemed almost unachievable. So I think it's a natural progression. But again, surrounding yourself with people who will help you see that, or help you push that, or help you at least make you understand, articulate your why to me. Tell me why this is so important, either to make the amount of money or to be the type of person or to look aside. I don't care what it is, but tell me why it's so important to you. Because if you can't convince me of why it's important to you, you're never going to get there.
the elevator pitch. I want to throw in a caveat to everything you said. I agree with. I think we've known people in our life, and we all do, the people looking for the magic bean, the magic pill. Now, when he talks about financial stuff, I know there's a lot of people that might jump to, I've tried that. I've said I want to be a millionaire, and guess what? It didn't happen. Well, you cannot forget to put in the work. You have to dream big, and you may not know how to get there. You may not know how to do it yet, but you have to make a plan. Like you said, you got to put a timeline. I'm reading Think and Grow Rich, which you gave me. It's been on
Love
the
it.
back burner for
Yep.
a
Changed
while.
my life. Yeah.
And he mentioned, and I've always had just, a broad spectrum of money that I like to make. Because of that book so far, I'm not even all the way through it, but I realized to follow it correctly, I had to actually put a number on it. And now I'm putting kind of a date around it. So I am formulating it. Do I know how I'm going to get it? Absolutely not.
And that plan will change 19 times probably, even if you think it's solid.
But you have to have belief and you have to have a plan. And it's about making incremental changes.
Yeah, small steps
when,
towards.
when you're flying an airplane and you need to make a 90-degree bank left, they don't just bank left. They make a 2%, a 4%. They gradually make a shift. You don't want to crash the plane. So once you're making, steps and have momentum building, you just make small incremental changes. So that should be the plan. I don't have everything set in
Yeah,
stone.
and those small changes, especially when you're starting, feel like mountains you're trying to climb. I mean, that taking one step and then another step was Ed My Light, the next thing, or
Yeah.
yeah,
One more. The
one
power
more,
of one
power of
more.
one. And so doing this is paramount to your success, whether it's, I want to run a marathon, I want to lose weight, I want to make more money. It's your life and only you're responsible for it. So the idea that my dream now has legs and a plan, and it may look insane on paper, which is where you want it to look. As long as you're taking a step every day towards that, you're going to be so much closer to that in 6 months or a year or even 2 or 3 years out, as opposed to sitting and going, it must be nice. Because if we don't take control of our own lives, we'll be exactly where we were 5 years ago. I want to be a different person next year, to be a better person next year than I am this year.
Every 6 months is kind of where I've been shooting for. I've been thinking about that. That's a different show, different times. No, those are good points, and had something I was going to go on, but
That's all right. I know you talked about Henry Ford earlier.
I'll jump to that just for the sake of it, but he's got a good quote I've always liked, and I think we've all heard it. If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Again, it comes to belief and who you surround yourself with. Now I remember I was smirking earlier because I've come to the point where we started the show with, you tell somebody and they tell you you're crazy.
Yeah.
And it might hurt, and it might make you
It's going to, yeah.
might make you go into your bedroom and sit on the bed and rethink everything. But once you do that enough and you build enough self-confidence and belief, because your plan has to have belief, now I'm to the point where I expect that from everyone. And I don't really want that, but something inside me kind of wants them to tell me that I'm crazy. And when somebody goes, man, that's awesome, I believe in you, and that's going to happen, I'm like, you son of a, like I had this thing in my head built up where
you were going to get a dopamine.
And they believed in me.
Yeah. Well,
people, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
So
it's an interesting way we've cycled through that. No, Henry Ford, he did have a famous saying that said, how's it go exactly? Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Which means, again, internally, your belief system about what you can and can't do ultimately boils down to you. I know that seems like a pie in the sky idea, but try it for 2 years and see how much your life changed. And of course, I'm a huge Star Wars nut, so I like to equate this to Yoda. And Yoda had a very similar phrase. He said, "There is no try, do or do not." And it's a silly thing to say. I'm going to base my life on what this fictional character said. It doesn't matter that it came from a fictional character, like we've talked about before.
Many fictional characters with lots of sage advice.
Absolutely.
For sure.
All of these guys, we talked earlier about 3 generations of Mr. Shove, Jim Rohn, and then one of your favorites,
Tony Robbins.
Those are 3 direct descendants of ideas, and I guarantee you that Mr. Shove didn't create those out of thin air. There's nothing new under the sun. The information is out there. It's what we do with it.
Dr. Wayne Dyer is also a good one of those who talks about, what's the Eastern book? I'm trying to think of it right now.
What's the idea?
It's a way of living. It's a way of life. It's an Eastern art. I'll get back to it later.
Yeah, we'll figure that one out.
But one good comparison is Edison. Edison obviously had many disbelievers in when he was trying to create the light bulb, trying to harness electricity. He had over 10,000 ways not to do it. And he was asking for money to people. He's looking for people to help him build this empire and give him money before he figured it out. He just was committed to, I'm going to do it until it happens. How many people must have told him he was crazy? They all wanted it to happen, but 10,000 times, he's documented 10,000 ways not to make a light bulb. So what kind of belief do you have to continue on 999,000 times?
And you're talking about a paradigm shift in the way the world works, not just what can I do different in my life. He was looking at changing the world. And to have the idea, or whatever his why was, I would love to know that. But to have the idea and the belief system that I can change the world, not just myself, that's a huge dream. That's something that you would expect everyone to say you're absolutely nuts for.
2 people that want to build a flying piece of wood with a propeller on it. Yeah. That's pretty insane, man.
Pretty crazy. Fly. Freaking nature.
Well, I think we've got pretty much down to the root of this. And if your dream doesn't move you or move other people to want to move you, you might need to rethink it. So I will close it out with, this is actually Walt Disney. He said, all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. So I think that's what it's all about.
Sounds good.
Have a great day.
See you.